welcome back to some extent. Lex is finally back in the States this week.
Back and ready for business.
How was your trip to Japan?
Ugh. It was a lot. It was really long, but it was really fun. Let's see. So we did a ton, and my first impressions of Tokyo were that it's a massive, massive place, and I don't even think I could have explored the whole thing in a month. Like I probably could have been there for 4 weeks and not explored the whole town. I didn't realize it was, by population-wise, the biggest city in the world.
Okay.
And if you compared it to New York City, what I looked up, it was like 3 times the size.
Holy shit.
And New York City's massive.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got a really good picture of it when we went to, there's like this really tall Space Needle that they have. And I think it's the tallest building in Tokyo, but we went to the top of it and kind of got a tour up there, and you could really see how large the city was. And like you can go all the way around the tower, and you could see that their city stretches for miles and miles in every direction, and it's got like its own separate little downtowns in every neighborhood.
Oh, cute.
And then it's got like a huge downtown in the middle.
And I'm guessing like each neighborhood kind of has their own like vibe.
Yeah, its own thing. So we stayed in a neighborhood called Shinjuku.
Okay.
And that was like its own huge downtown. It's like a lot of people commute there for business and for work. And so we ran into a couple rush hours where we were the only people who didn't know where they were going, and everybody else was just flooding into the train station. And it was kind of like very anxiety inducing almost, because we didn't even know how to work the subway station things. So we were sitting there just holding up traffic, and people are like moving in and out, probably like thousands of people going in and out.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was so many people, and we were just like, everyone's wearing really nice clothes, like ready for work. Because it's on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and we're all wearing just like plain t-shirts, like probably what I was wearing now. And
I know
we
for a
looked
fact you were wearing that
so
shirt.
out of place. And I don't know, it was crazy. It was a great experience. It's great to see how the other side of the world is, and just kind of going into a completely different place, way out of my comfort zone. And so I'm extremely lucky to have gotten to go there. I learned a lot about just how they live in Asia and in Japan in general, and what the culture's like. And it was just so awesome to experience all the food. The food is probably the best part, honestly.
I was about to ask, share with everyone what your favorite meals were. Or like your favorite
Yeah, that's a good question. So it was a lot of like raw fish, which is, I feel like, not something that is typically eaten in the U.S. too much.
Yeah.
But it's like a very heavy diet in Japan is like raw fish, because it's all fresh there. They're right on the ocean, and it's a huge part of the culture is just to eat just fish in general and seafood. So a ton of that, and my stomach definitely had to get used to that. So it took a little bit of there was a learning curve for my stomach there. And then obviously I had some really good ramen. The ramen was fantastic. I had this thing called pork katsu ramen, which was like probably my favorite meal that I had there.
Okay.
And I've had a lot of ramen before, but like the ramen there is just top notch. It's like any place you go, it's gonna be like cheap food, but it's gonna be better than anything you could find in the United States almost. So that was really awesome. I was really surprised by how cheap the food was.
Okay.
But cheap, I don't mean like, I don't know. I still think it's really high quality. I just think it's
like money wise.
Yeah. Just like, it's sourced directly from the ocean that's right there, and so it's not very expensive.
It's because like I feel like when we go get Japanese food, sushi here in Denver, Illinois, wherever we are, it's so expensive. Like that's always a higher end meal.
Really expensive.
Or more upscale.
Yeah.
But it's because, I mean, at least in the 2 places we mostly live, we don't have oceans near us, so it's all getting imported.
Yeah, and I think it was also like a currency thing too, just with how strong the dollar was there, it went a little bit further.
Okay.
Which was really surprising, because like we would get a really great meal, like we would get a platter of sushi for all of us. I went with 4 other people, and we would get a platter of sushi that could fill up all of us.
Nice.
And I'd be expecting a $300 bill,
right,
and it'd come out as like $15 a person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that was the best part, I think. And just seeing like, oh wow, like you only have to pay for this because it's so expensive in the U.S., but like it's every meal here, so that's why it's not that expensive.
Lex also brought back like the best gifts ever. They're super unique and special. I mean, you can't really find those things in the United States. So that was really fun too.
Oh, I had a great time shopping. I probably could have I'm not a big shopper, but I could have shopped for a week straight there.
I know. I made a list of things I wanted him to get, and I was nervous because you're not a shopper that you'd get like chopsticks and that was it. But he actually got like everything.
I brought a ton of stuff back.
He bought me a whole kimono. It's beautiful, like gorgeous. He sent me a picture of like the man making it too. It's a little bit too big, but it's like beautiful. Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, shopping. Thank you. Appreciate that. I've learned from the best. I think, yeah, it was just, I just had a great time walking around, and like, I started to realize that things weren't as expensive as I was expecting them to be, which I think really made me buy more stuff.
Yeah.
And just like, I just kept buying stuff, and then like, the real problem was fitting all of it in my suitcase. And I did end up buying this huge tapestry that wouldn't fit in my backpack. So I had to carry it around. And I had some really miserable flight experiences on the way back. And my flight from Tokyo to Denver got canceled as soon as I was going to leave for it. So then I had to get a flight at the end of that day to LA just to get back into the US. And my flight from LA to Denver also got canceled.
Yeah, it was bad.
So, I mean, it was so bad I was debating on driving. So, that was tough, but the tapestry I bought did not make it all the way there. I'm probably one of the most absent-minded people that I've ever met. And so, just having something I needed to hold all the time, I put it down and I never picked it back up, and I have no idea where it is. It's got to be somewhere on a plane or in Japan, probably.
Well, someone got lucky.
Yeah, true.
Picking it up.
It was sweet, though.
Well, we're glad that you're back in one piece and had a fun time with the boys.
Yeah. Overall, really, really great trip. Really interesting. I felt like I learned a ton. And I feel like if you ever have an experience, or if you ever have the opportunity to go to the other side of the world, especially if you're from the U.S., and you have an opportunity to go to Asia, the Middle East, Africa, anywhere that is completely different than the U.S. Like Europe's great too, but I think you can still see a lot of similarities between Europe and the U.S. But if you go somewhere even further than that, the experience is kind of mind-blowing, and you really get to see the differences in culture, the differences in the way of life that people live, and how they, the problems, the issues they deal with versus the issues you deal with here in the U.S. I think it's so interesting, and it's just broadened my mind and perspective a ton since being back.
It's always the best going on vacations, but also getting a learning experience out of it instead of just a vacation. So it's really cool that you brought that up.
I don't know. I wouldn't even call it a vacation. It was more of like a trip. Because me and my friends were debating about this. Like, what do you think the difference between a vacation and a trip is?
I feel like they're both the same thing, because in my head, when I go on vacation, I'm taking off work, and that's a vacation. When I'm not working and not doing things I do normally here in my regular everyday life, like my routine, it's a vacation.
Okay.
Like, even we're going camping this weekend, that's a vacation. We're taking time off from our daily routines, our normal.
Yeah, but it's not like taking time off of work, though.
We're going somewhere different too,
I guess. But
I get what you're saying. Like, vacation's more like chill, relaxing, beach vibes, spa.
Yeah. So
and
what
a trip
I think
is like
of a vacation is like a way, like you like rejuvenate yourself, and like you kind of like you go out there to not do anything and just like recharge your battery almost. And I feel like on my trip to Japan, I just drained my battery. Like, I was just like, go. Wake up early, stay up late, like, do everything I could, and just, like, full energy the entire time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know when, if ever, I'll come back here, so I want to experience everything as much as possible.
Yeah.
So when I get back, I was drained.
But it's still a vacation because you saved up and you put effort into planning this thing, and it's supposed to be fun. You know, it's a fun experience. So I feel like...
Yeah.
Even though it's not a beach vacation where you're relaxed and, like you said, getting yourself together. Yeah. It's still something enjoyable, just a different type of enjoyment, I guess.
Yeah. So we ended up coming to the decision that it was a trip instead of a vacation. Okay. Because I guess that's a fair thing to say, though. Like, it's a vacation from your normal life and your normal routine.
I feel like anytime you step out of your life, it's a vacation.
And
it's a little
to
getaway.
be honest, like my ideal vacation would be a trip somewhere where I'm like full go, try to experience as much as I can instead of sit on the beach for a week.
Oh, we know. We know.
Yeah, that's just not my style, I guess.
Lex can't sit still for like 20 minutes.
Let alone a week.
Or like an hour at the pool, even. You have to be doing something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing's wrong with that. It just, I'm opposite. I could sit at the pool for hours and be so content. Yeah. Or a beach, or wherever.
For a week?
And just chill.
For a full week?
I would love to go to the beach for a week and just chill. I would not be sick of it. Really? Having alone time and just being in the sun and being by the ocean and being calm and enjoying a book or a podcast or anyone's company is like perfect.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's where we differ. But I think that's like I feel like that's like a thing that like a lot of probably like families will deal with, is like some people in the family want to, like if they're going on vacation, they want to hit the beach. And like some people, especially my family, like a few people want to hit the beach, a few people want to go to like a city and like do a bunch of stuff.
That's literally my family too, because all the girls love just shopping and going to the pool or beach and chilling out, and then the boys love to adventure.
Yeah. And I also like...
We're getting on a tangent here too. We gotta cut it down.
No, I think we're okay. I just like... When I'm back now, like when I look at it, I look at it as like really draining, and like I went so far away that like I've never been this jet lagged in my life. Like I haven't been able to sleep through the night. Like first night I got back, I stayed up for like 4 hours in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep. And then like 2 nights ago, also stayed up for another 3 hours. Like it's just been like really hard to get back on a regular schedule. Yeah. For me, I don't know. I've never felt that before.
I mean, we're 15 hours difference from here. Yeah. Time change at least. So.
But that's also draining, is like the after vacation effects.
Yeah, like getting back into your routine and back into. Yeah. The United States even.
Do you think that post vacation depression is a thing?
110%. Yeah. For sure. Especially if you just had like one of the best vacations of your life. You're with good company, you ate great food, you know you're not going to experience that for a while. I feel like it's like the build up to that vacation too is so special, and you're so excited, and then once it's done, you're kind of like, what's next?
Yeah, what's like, to look forward to after this?
Right.
It is nice to have something to look forward to.
Yeah, and just saving money and packing and getting ready and whatever you do to get ready for your vacations, and then all of a sudden you're home, and obviously like you cherish those moments and you're grateful for that experience, but then you're like, what's next? What's the next trip? You know, on to the next thing. Yeah, I do think it's a thing. Are you experiencing that right now?
I don't think I'm experiencing it too much, because I think I fully exhausted myself there. Like, I was exhausted enough to where I was like ready to go home. Yeah. Ready to come back, and then I guess like I was like ready to rest a little bit. Right. So I think the difference between a trip and a vacation is like a trip
You feel rested.
A vacation, you come back rested.
Right. A trip,
you feel exhausted afterwards.
I see what you're saying.
Because you, like, try to do so much.
Yeah.
But, no, I would love to get more into Japan in a future episode of, like, I don't know, details of what I did. We talked to, like, we know a few people who've obviously been there, so that might be interesting just for someone who, because I looked up a ton of YouTube videos before I left to try to figure out what to do, like where to go, how to get around, so maybe like culminating all of that into one podcast might be helpful for some people.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, so overall trip was good.
Good. So we wanted to talk about today a little guide of Denver, Colorado in general. If you happen to find yourself here, you can use some of our recommendations, or if you are planning a trip here or wherever you feel inspired to come to Colorado, this might help a little bit. We've lived here now for a year. I think it just hit a year, or almost a year, right?
Yeah, the 3rd of July, I think.
Which is pretty exciting. Living in a place for a year, I feel like you get to feel it out and know some of the restaurants, some of the bars, some of the neighborhoods. And
yeah, a year's a good amount of time. I think if it were like a bigger city, it might be tough to get everything done in a year, but I think Denver's a good size.
I agree.
That we think we've done most things.
It's doable.
I don't think we've done everything. I still think there's a lot to
No, definitely not. But the things we did enjoy, we've kind of put together a list, or at least I did, to share what my favorite things are and have been that I would redo and go back to. But yeah, so we wanted to share.
Yeah, no, I think I can rattle off a bunch of different places to go, restaurants, things like that you may be looking for if you're visiting here. Denver's a big tourist town for people in the U.S.
It's also just a mixing pot in general. You'll meet a lot of people who do live here now that are not from here.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think
majority of the people I've met are not from Denver.
Yeah, they're literally called unicorns. People who are born and raised in Denver, because they're so rare to find. Because everyone came from other places. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. Which is kind of cool, though, too. So it's nice to be living in a mixing pot because you get to meet so many different people. And I guess, in a way, you share something in common of liking outdoor activities, being by the mountains, and all of that good stuff.
We also had a ton of people show interest and come to Denver just as a tourist or someone who wants to spend time in the mountains. So that's cool. Having a lot of people from other areas of the country flying in to experience what Denver / the rest of Colorado has to offer. So I think if I lived somewhere else, I wouldn't have as many people that have come in to visit.
I think we should start with talking about Denver, the city, and then get into other cities we've been to close to Denver, and then, like in the mountains as well.
Like Colorado in general?
I guess for like food-wise, a couple of my favorite breakfast spots is Macy's Cafe, which is like really fresh breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah, that place was so good.
So good. And it's like a hole in the wall, really cute. You can eat outside. Another one is my favorite muffin. Those muffins are phenomenal if you like muffins. There. Jax always brings them for us, and they're so good.
Yeah. I haven't tried those.
And another one that our friend group does a lot, Edie loves it, is Star Kitchen, which is dim sum.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an experience. We literally will get up at like 9. Or no, will we get there at 9?
Yeah, we have to get there at 8.
It's crazy. We get up.
Maybe like 7.
They open the doors at 9 or something, and then...
You get there at 8 and put your name in, and then they open the doors at 9. I think that's how it works.
And they only let a certain amount of people in. So if you don't make it in that, first, let's say 50 people, you can't eat.
Yeah, because it's not a small place, but it's a popular place.
Yeah, it's good.
And they only do breakfast for like 2 hours.
And those of you that don't know dim sum, it's like they walk around with carts with this fresh food. Is it Chinese?
Yeah.
Chinese. It's like a Chinese brunch.
Yeah.
But it's good, and it's an experience too, on top of good food.
It's a little outside of Denver though.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 15, 20-minute drive.
It's not terrible.
Yeah. I would say my recommendations for breakfast, I've been to Snooze a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Snooze is pretty good. There's one in the train station too, which
that
one gets super packed though, so it's like really tough to get any like a reservation or anything like that. I have heard that a place Woody Fisher has good breakfast.
Yeah, we've been there for
Few people
dinner,
said that. Yeah.
but not brunch.
Few people said that they have decent breakfast too.
Yeah, that place is cute. For lunch, I put Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. It's WTF, but it's right by where we kind of, I don't know, it's our like go-to spot. I love it. Even if it's just dinner or drinks, because they're open till like, 3 a.m. So after the bars, we'll just go for another like nightcap.
It's a good spot.
It's cute.
I didn't realize this, but I think it's a chain.
Is
and
it?
I think there's other Whiskey Tangos around.
I totally thought it was special.
I did too for a while, but I think there is other Whiskey Tangos.
It's like good food, good drinks, good vibes. It's definitely like our not hole in the wall. It's our, I don't know, it's like my favorite homie bar here in Denver.
Yeah. Let's see. One place I think is fire, that I know you think is fire too, is Torchy's.
Oh, I love Torchy's.
Torchy's is awesome.
Those tacos are so good, and their queso. Whenever I feel like queso, I go there.
Yeah, no, that place is awesome.
I love it.
Same with Illegal Pete's. It's a similar vibe though.
And they always have this. No, Torchy's is way better than Illegal Pete's.
Fair.
In my opinion.
I agree. They have a more unique menu.
They also have a taco of the month that they always change around. So, you can always go. Edie and Noel would always go every month when we lived in Boulder to try the taco of the month. And it's always something different and unique.
I think there are a few around Colorado, but there's at least 2 in Denver.
Yeah. Adobo was fun to go to. We stumbled upon it. Do you remember it? It was the Filipino food, which I'm Filipino, so I loved it.
Oh, I didn't realize it was called adobo.
Yeah, and it's also a beer hall.
Yeah, I remember.
So that was really cool and interesting, the mix of the two. But I've never been to a Filipino restaurant before, so I loved it.
Yeah. No, food is great there.
Yeah, that was a fun little...
And then over by there is also Barcelona.
Yeah, that was on my dinner list.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to it.
Well, we hit lunch, though, so...
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But the same thing.
Barcelona's Spanish food, and it's so good, tapas, and it's also a wine bar. And I've also been told that brunch is really good, too.
I think their food in general is just really good.
It's really cute.
It's tapas, right?
Yeah, we sat out in the courtyard, and it kind of brought me back to Barcelona a little bit. It's cute and good food. It's just a good, cozy, but nice. It's good for a date. We went, just you and I, and it was
kind of, it wasn't small, but it was they had a tiny outdoor area
quaint.
Where they
Yeah.
With small tables.
Something else I realized Denver has is a lot of food halls. So, Milk Market, Improper City.
To touch on Milk Market, I've never been to a place like Milk Market before I moved here.
Yeah.
That place is crazy.
Honestly, they're genius because, I'm going to mention them. Denver Milk Market, Denver Central Market, and then Improper City are the 3 that are in the city, at least kind of we've been to. They all have bars and then food. And what a food hall is you can go to any vendor and you can taste the food. So they'll have an American spot with hot dogs and burgers, whatever. They'll have Mexican, they'll have Italian, they'll have Mediterranean, sushi, you name it.
It's like a cafeteria.
So it's so nice to go with a bunch of people, so then everyone's satisfied.
Yeah, I would even add Avanti to that list too.
Yeah, Avanti too. It's just a good, fun, area to go. So
I think it's you're right. It does make everybody in the group happy because you can kind of pick and choose what you want, and I think it's cool because they're huge areas.
Right.
So I don't know.
You can all
spend you could spend a ton of time there.
Yeah.
And just hang out too. I had never been to anything like that before I went to before I came here, and it's like they're very popular here.
I know, which is interesting because I feel like back home we don't really have anything like that, at least in our hometown. Maybe in the city they do, but I think it's a great idea.
No, it makes sense. But it's probably, I wonder if it's tough because they have to have literally, it's just like one big menu. Mm-hmm. They just have to have everything.
Yeah, just different chefs for each one.
Yeah.
And the food's good, too. It's not like they just make it in bulk and it's like, okay, average. Yeah. I like it.
I agree with that.
If you guys love gold jewelry as much as I do, you have to check out Slide Jewels. Slide Jewels is a jewelry brand that crafts contemporary and affordable pieces from high-quality stainless steel. From earrings, necklaces, rings, and bracelets, Slide has pieces for everyone. Use code TOSOMEEXTENT to get 30% off your purchase. Links and promo code will be in the show notes, so check it out. I guess now we can get to dinner spots, which we've been to a lot, but I want to talk about my favorites. So I'll shoot out mine and then you can shoot out yours.
Okay.
If that works.
Yeah.
My favorite is Uchi, which is high-end, upper-scale sushi, but it's unique sushi because I don't love sushi personally. I just don't love, like, raw fish. But Uchi's so good. I'm pretty sure it's a Michelin star chef's restaurant, too. And it's fire. But go during happy hour because then it's cheaper and you still get great food.
Yeah, no, Uchi's, I mean, it's hard to even compare it to anything. I think it's just like a very one-off experience. And they have like a garden above the restaurant
that they get their like fresh food from, which is cool. So that for sushi, and then my favorite type of food is Italian food. So I've been to a lot of places here, but my favorite places have been Venice, where I went for my birthday, and Bordeaux. Bordeaux is probably my favorite. It's just really fresh, handmade pasta with amazing sauces and sides, and it's so good. It's really good.
No, Bordeaux is great, but you do have to put money down to make a reservation, which is annoying, but I think they take it off of your check, so if you're okay with that.
The first time we sat, and their wine selection's amazing too. Really great wine. We sat inside the first time, and then the second time, or like the most recent time I went there, we sat outside, and it was amazing. It's in Low-High. It's a really cute little area.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite restaurants in general. Then I had Barcelona, which we already kind of talked about, but that was also up there in my favorites. Mm-hmm. And then a new restaurant is Keeney's, where we went for our anniversary. It's Mediterranean food, and it just opened up in Cherry Creek.
Oh, yeah.
So good. I love Mediterranean food as well. It's probably like my second favorite cuisine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that place is amazing. We got a lot of things just to share, really, and it was like perfect.
No, it was great.
To try every different, different things and not have to.
It is inside of a hotel though, which was kind of confusing.
Yeah, but it's a really nice place too. It's cute, decorated really well. We went for a girls' night once and they were obsessed with it.
Yeah, you went back.
It's cute.
No, I'd go back there.
Yeah, 100%. Their goat cheese dip. Mwah.
Yeah.
I like crave it.
No, it was great.
I've tried to remake it a few times.
Don't they put like a little honey on it or something?
So good.
Yeah, it was like kind of sweet.
And then my last one is Mono Mono Korean fried chicken.
Yeah.
We've been there a couple times too. It's just unique. It's Korean fried chicken, which I guess is in the name of it, but it's a really good place too.
Yeah.
We go a lot with our friends. But those are kind of my
No,
top.
Mono Mono's great. It's like not like I feel like you did offer a lot of like fine dining places, but Mono Mono's like casual.
Like you can go like in this, you know.
And it's still like the food's been great every time we went.
Yeah.
And it's like fun. Usually not that busy too.
The people that work there are so nice too.
Yeah. I think one of the places I really like is La Loma.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Pretty fire. It's just Mexican food, really, but it's like a really nice restaurant.
It's higher end Mexican, I would say.
And then they've got a lot of really good options. They allow you to kind of like mix and match some dishes too, and then They also have this fire fried ice cream.
That's like my favorite dessert
which
in Denver.
we get every time we go there.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
So I would definitely recommend giving that a try.
Mm-hmm.
I think, let me think of some other places. So we did mention all like the markets. We do go to the markets a lot, like the big
especially with
markets.
a big group of people or people visiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
yeah.
easy.
I think one place that we tried that I liked was Nola Jane.
Oh yeah.
For dinner we had that, and I like that one. It's like more like New Orleans, like Louisiana kind of food. Yeah, Cajun food, and they got like po' boys and stuff there. So it's interesting to find that in Denver, and then just I thought they did it pretty well. Like the food we had was great.
It's also a bar too. I think they do karaoke at night sometimes.
Yeah,
which is fun.
I think so. There's also a Mexican restaurant over there that we went to.
Tamayo.
Tamayo, yeah. Which was pretty good, but they also didn't have, if you're going in a group of 5, they don't have big enough tables.
We literally went with his family, and me and his sisters and his mom were like sitting on top of each other. But it was cute. It was good.
So you gotta go with a smaller group.
Yeah.
And then is there anywhere you've been like really wanting to try?
Honestly, most of the places that we've been to have been on my list. There's a few places in Lohi, I can't tell you the names. Just like us driving by, I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to try there. I think one's called the Bindery.
Lohi's got some great food options.
Yeah. But
I think I always wanted to try that diner over by 16th Street Mall.
It's like Sally's Diner or something. Like,
but it looks so awesome.
It looks so cute too.
Yeah.
Now I want to get into like kind of the night scene where we go out, if we go out. And my favorite area to go out in is Rhino, for sure. I feel like they have really unique bars, and I don't know, they have a lot of breweries down there too, which I don't love beer. You guys do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Denver has like the most microbreweries ever. In the country?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. There's a lot. I think you're right.
There's so many.
So it's a good, definitely a big beer drinking city.
Mm-hmm. We always go to Federales if you know you want to like see people. That place is fun.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like that place too much.
Yeah, Lex doesn't. I like it. But Finn's Manor has been on my list.
Oh yeah, that place is cool.
Really good drinks, and it's kind of inside outside, which is fun.
Yeah. And
it's huge. You go there to dance.
Finn's Manor's cool though.
Yeah.
What's that place that's nearby Finn's Manor, but it's like a
Beacon.
Yeah. Beacon is. I thought that place was sweet, and I've been there a few times. It's like you're walking into like a bar, but it's also like an art museum.
But it's also a nest.
What is that?
Like it looks like a nest, like a bird's nest.
Yeah, kinda.
Like there's wood.
But it's like an art museum too. Like you go around this like, you like walk into like a forest.
It's like the most Denver thing ever.
Yeah, but I thought it was so cool. I've been back there a few times. It was like you like walk into a forest, and then one room is like full of like teepees that people are sitting in, and then like
it's pretty trippy.
Yeah, and then there's like another room where like people are literally selling stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of vendors.
Like, table sets up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with like handmade jewelry or purses. There's like knitting.
Yeah.
Purses and hats.
Definitely somewhere I like never would have ever thought of
underground
existed,
artists.
Really.
Yeah, for sure.
Like an
cool.
art gallery inside of a bar.
But then there's DJs that play there, so it's more of like a dancing vibe.
You'd think those things don't mix very well, but
it's really unique.
Yeah.
I've never been to a bar like that.
No, very interesting.
Definitely a Denver must see.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then another place we like to go to too is Lohi. I like to go day drink there, for sure. I feel like we usually day drink there. Like they have Happy Camper, Recess, Avanti is always a go-to. And they're all outside, rooftop.
Yeah.
More of the vibe.
They have that place Prost, which is pretty cool.
I haven't been.
Yeah, it's just a brewery.
Yeah,
but it's like
great
outdoors.
Options.
Yeah, like a lot of Lohi is very set up to have good views of the city. So like if you stand outside,
Because
you
it's
usually
across,
get a pretty good view of the city.
It's across the highway from, like, the actual city, so it does have a really good view.
Yeah. It's, like, kind of separate.
And then the area we live in is Lodo, and we have we're right by, or I guess Lodo is where the ballpark, like, Coors Field is. So we have all the sports bars by us, which is fun.
Yeah. It's mostly Rockies tailored, Nuggets tailored. I think it's more, just a sports bar. It can get pretty, like, expensive, too, if you stay around there too much, but it's also, I feel like, where most stuff is happening.
I feel like it's also a younger area. A lot of kids our age.
View House is pretty cool. That place is just massive.
Jackson's is always fun. It also has, like, a rooftop. Tap 14 has a rooftop that we go to a lot. And then the Refinery is always a go-to if we have a visitor in town, because they have these, like, shots that you eat a flower and then you take the shot and you can't taste the shot and it makes your, like, mouth tingle in a weird way. Those are always, like, whenever someone's here that doesn't live here, we always have to bring them to the Refinery.
Yeah, no, that's funny.
It's fun. Those are kind of, like, the bars that really stand out to me. Oh, I also like 7 Grand. It's, like, kind of in a way, a pool hall. Cool. It's a nicer bar for sure. Great espresso martinis. And then they also have, like, a speakeasy in the back that we didn't know about until, like, the last time we went. A whiskey specific.
Yeah, that place was interesting.
Yeah.
It's more of, like, it's, like, darker, more, like,
you won't see
divey kind of thing.
Yeah. You won't see kids our age there very often. I feel like it's more adults.
Yeah.
But it's cute. And if you like to play pool, you would like it.
Yeah. I also like hanging out around Larimer Square area. That's a place, like, I don't know, it's filled with just restaurants and bars and stuff over there. And I think it's, like, really easy to, like, if you want to hop in somewhere and test something out and you're like, I don't really like this place, you go right across the street and there's, like, another place that's completely different.
Yeah.
So. And it's, like, right by the basketball stadium, too. So usually get a lot of, like, it's a good place to watch sports. We watched a lot of the Nuggets games this year there. So just because it was near the stadium, you got all the crowds that didn't want to go, that couldn't afford the games.
The energy's still there.
The energy was there for sure.
So that's kind of wrapping up Denver with, like, specific spots. Did we miss any?
Yeah, I think one we missed would have been probably the best ice cream in town, Little Man Ice Cream. Yeah. I don't really think it's worth mentioning any other ice cream place because Little Man Ice Cream tops almost every place I've been to. In Denver, it's the best by far.
There's always a wait, though.
Always a wait, so you got to go earlier.
Even in the winter, there's still a wait.
Yeah, but if you go anywhere from, like, 8 to 10, you're going to have to wait.
Like an hour
30,
wait, too.
45 minutes.
It's also outside, so prepare yourself.
You can't sit down. In the summer, you can sit down outside, but
it's cute.
There's no inside. You just stop by.
There's salted Oreo.
And one hack, though, is if you don't want to stand in the really long line, there's always a little shop, a little man, that's right next to the big building, and they're serving just, like, scoops, and it's way quicker, and you go there, and you can pay cash or card.
But they don't have all the flavors,
but, like, if you are a basic flavor person or you're like, hey, whatever, like, they have, like, 10 flavors. It's like, I'll take one of those. Instead of having to wait an hour, I'll wait 5 minutes and do this. Like, that is an option I feel like a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, because Little Man changes their flavors, like, I want to say every month. At least every season. Yeah. Constantly. So they won't have any of the new flavors. But, yeah, I guess if you're right. If you're like me and always stick to the same flavors, you're fine going on the express line. Okay, moving on from Denver. We go outside of Denver a lot, I would say.
Yeah, there's a few cities that are really accessible, like a really 20, 30-minute drive that, like, you can do just to go out to. So, like, one I will touch on, and then you can touch on Boulder probably because you know a lot more about Boulder than I do. But I like to go. I've been going to Golden a lot, which is 15 minutes from Denver. And it's, like, right nestled up against the mountains. It's, like, right at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. So you get, like, still a good mountain town almost, but it's a lot bigger than most of the mountain towns because it's not exactly up in the mountains. And I think one thing I like about Golden is just that it provides like some really good food and then some really like beginner hiking places that you can go. So one.
It's more like a walk. I wouldn't call it a hike.
Yeah, you can hike. You can start hiking, but also you can like walk and still be in the mountains, and it's still like flat.
Yeah, I guess what we did was more a walk.
I think so too, but we were still in the mountains.
Right, which is nice because then you're not like.
It's like right at the edge before you really start having to just walk straight up.
But it's long. It's a good one.
Yeah, no, I think it's like really beautiful there, and like we've been getting a lot of rain recently, so it's very green there. Sometimes it's like light brownish color, but the whole town is like really green right now.
The downtown area is so cute too.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff going on. That's obviously where the Coors Brewery is. So the brewery takes up a lot of space, but also it's like right at the edge, and they've got like this huge Coors sign that's like really famous and like in the background of a ton of pictures and stuff. So it kind of like...
It's so cute.
And you could see it like on the can. There's like a river that flows right to the Coors factory. It's a very like good picture town. There's a big sign.
It's definitely like a western town.
Yeah.
Western small town.
There's a big sign that says "Welcome to Golden" over the main street.
Cute. We went tubing last summer there.
Yeah.
And it was so fun.
It was awesome.
But I expected it to be really lazy, like a lazy river. It was not.
No.
I flipped over.
Like 4
times. It was actually terrifying.
Yeah.
It was like more river rafting than
you had to be prepared. We both lost our shoes.
Oh yeah, totally lost my shoes. Had a lot of bruises on my butt. What else? Our tubes both popped, did they?
Yeah.
Or deflated.
But I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, I would do it again. I just wasn't prepared for it to be that aggressive. I really was just like, oh, we'll sit on the tube and go float down a river. No.
It's not relaxing.
There's rocks,
It's pretty funny too, because like,
little, like waterfalls.
You see people that have like drinks in their hands and like
coolers.
Chilling. They have coolers on their tubes, and they like have speakers, and they're like ready to just sit back and relax. And then you hit the first rapid, and you're like, it flips a lot of people over.
I know, it flipped me over, and I actually was scared.
Yeah.
And I'm a good swimmer, so I didn't think I was gonna like die, but I wasn't expecting to be in the water.
Yeah. And then you have to chase down your tube.
It's a fun summer activity for sure. And it's free, which is always the best.
Unless you rent your tube.
I guess true.
But you can do it for free if you have all the equipment.
Yeah.
Which really, you only need a tube, really.
Well,
and
no, and
sandals.
shoes.
Yeah.
But don't wear flip-flops. We both made that mistake.
If you have water shoes, obviously you can't wear tennis shoes either.
Because it hurts walking on the rocks. But that's a great town. Definitely go back a lot.
And then I will throw out Bonfire Burritos, which I've been to twice now. Fire burritos in Golden. Outside of the city area a little bit, like a couple blocks down. But yeah, great burritos there.
Okay, I guess I'll talk about Boulder, which I went to college there, so I lived there for 4 years before living here, and I'm obsessed with Boulder.
Wait, how far away is Boulder from Denver?
30 minutes.
Okay.
So not bad at all. Boulder's a town that does not compare to any other towns in Colorado. You can only find the Flatirons there. Boulder literally sits at the edge of the mountains. It's beautiful. People are so nice. It's also a nice city. It's pretty clean, I would say. I'm also biased because I live there. But I guess my favorite things, if you're a tourist, what I'd recommend to do is definitely go see Pearl Street, which is like a mile-long street. You can just walk and shop and eat food and drink, and it's really cute. Any season, too. It's always open. It's not like you can just go in the summer. The fall, it's beautiful. The winter, it's awesome. Food's great over there. And the shops are so unique, too. It has one of my favorite crystal stores that I always go back to. And then for, like, outdoors activities, the Flatirons, of course, you have to go see them. They're beautiful. Chautauqua is where you would go start your hike into the mountains, and then if you aren't really about hiking but you want to go see the mountains, you can drive up the mountain and go to Lost Gulch, and it's like a beautiful lookout over all the mountains. It's like a 20-minute drive, I would say, from Chautauqua up, maybe even a little less, but even the drive is beautiful. Yeah. So that's something we would do a lot. Living in Boulder, or when visitors came, for sure, bring them up there. You've been to Boulder?
Yeah, I've been a ton of times. I agree. I think Boulder's probably one of the prettiest towns I've been to, if not the prettiest town I've been to. It's got almost anything that you would really need in terms of, it's got shopping, it's got a huge college in the middle of it, it's got like some of the best food in Colorado, and then it's got the mountains. Yeah, exactly.
Hiking.
So it's in like a perfect location almost, to where like you can easily access anything you want to, and it's only 30 minutes from Denver if you're trying to get there. So
yeah, it's great. And then also there's a little creek, it's called the Boulder Creek, that runs through kind of like the Netherlands, the mountains, and Boulder. And we would go there a lot in the summer. Kind of like what we were talking about, Golden. You can tube down, way less crowded and rapidy, if that's even a word, than Golden's. Like that, you can actually just sit and relax. I think that's why I had that in my mind. But we would do that with college friends all the time in the summer and just bathe in the sun, go in the water, hang out, meet new people.
Yeah.
Great times.
Let's see. Favorite restaurants in Boulder off the top of my head. I really like the Corner, which is on the hill. It's more of like the hill's more of like for college students that go there though.
Town.
But I feel like if you're gonna be touring Boulder, Pearl Street's where you're gonna be.
Oh yeah, any restaurant Pearl Street's pretty good.
Yeah. What do you like? You
My
like a lot of the Italian places.
Yeah, Seforno is Italian.
They've got like 8 different Mexican restaurants on the
A lot of the restaurants in Boulder are also in Denver, which now that I've lived here, I'm recognizing, like how we said Torchy's, Illegal Pete's, Bar Taco.
Oh yeah. What about Cafe Mexicali?
Avanti.
Yeah. Jack's Fish House.
Yeah, those two. So
they're like, yeah.
Find a place on Pearl Street.
Yeah, Pearl Street's great too because it has a really great view of the mountains.
Yeah.
Especially if you sit outside. It's got some great views. And they got some really good shopping over there too.
Another place it's probably like a 20-minute drive from Boulder, so maybe like an hour from us, is Netherlands. It's a really cute little town, and if you ski, Eldora is like the ski mountain over there. It's like the only ski mountain over on that side, honestly. And Netherlands is kind of like the little town, but that town's really cute if you really want like a mountain town, small. The best restaurant or best pizza I've had so far is called Crosscut. They put honey on their pizza and it's like brick oven.
Yeah.
That place is so good. And then there's also like a reservoir over there you can go walk to. Mm-hmm. Hikes, obviously, skiing.
Yeah.
And another crystal store that I'm obsessed with.
That's a really tiny town, though.
It's tiny. Like, you can do it in a day.
You can do it in 2 hours.
Right.
You go to Bojo's for an hour, or not Bojo's, Crosscut for an hour, and then you go to the crystal store.
While you're waiting.
Yeah.
To get seated.
Yeah.
But that's a nice little getaway for you know, are stuck in Denver. Or even, like, my friends and I would go when we lived in Boulder. For, like, a girls' trip, a little bit. Little vacay.
Speaking of Bojo's, though, Idaho Springs was a really nice town, too.
That was next to my list.
Yeah. And
Bojo's is so good.
Very similar to Crosscut. They have a honey on their pizza.
They do, but it's a different type of pizza.
It's like a thicker crust, I think.
It's so good. Those two places, I am not going to lie, I'm a pizza snob. Yeah. Those two places are the best pizza in Colorado.
And if you're feeling bold enough, you can try to attack the 14-pound pizza with a buddy of yours and try to see if you can finish it.
Yeah, Lex and Noel have been talking about doing it, but maybe we'll do it this summer.
Yeah, it seems impossible. I don't know how someone could attack.
I feel like it would ruin the pizza for you too.
Yeah, probably.
You know? And you don't want Bojo's to be ruined.
Yeah, but if you throw enough honey on it, maybe it'll fix it.
That town's really cute too. So Idaho Springs is in, I would say, on the way to Breck, Vail, all the mountain towns. It's like right when you get into the mountains, right there. It's a little mining town, or it used to be a mining city, I guess. Super small, little like cute area though.
Not as small as Netherlands though.
No.
A little
but
bit bigger than
they
that.
do have some cute shops if you are into shopping. Little boutiques. We went to like a little antique store, a soap, like handmade soap store, another crystal store, and it's really cute over there. So that's another recommendation. If let's say you're coming back from skiing to Denver and you want to stop for good food, stop at Idaho Springs.
I'm trying to like think of places where like because when you come to Colorado, everyone knows Breck, everyone knows Vail, Aspen. So like I'm trying to give recommendations that are kind of a little bit outside of the norm of why people come to Colorado, like especially if they're looking for something that's not so busy, but they still want to go to a mountain town. And I'm thinking one of them I really, really like was Woodland Park, Colorado, and Manitou Springs, which are very close to each other. Manitou Springs, really cool. It's like not fully in the mountains, very similar to like Golden, kind of, where it's right in the foothills of the mountains, like a little bit in the mountains.
What do you do there though?
Well, there's this thing called the incline, which I might have talked about before on this podcast, but it's just like a bucket list thing for a lot of people who live in Colorado. Is you kind of just walk straight up a mountain with stairs, which I did a couple months ago, and it's just a big, like another one of these towns where they have really good shopping and food, but like nestled up right against the mountains. And then you go further up that road, and Woodland Park is more in the mountains at the top. I think I took you there once, but it has a really good view of Pikes Peak, which is like one of the largest mountains in Colorado, and right at the base of Pikes Peak is Colorado Springs. So if you're looking for like Colorado Springs is probably, if I were to guess, the second biggest town in Denver, or in Colorado. So I would say that it's like you have that, and then you drive like 20 minutes, Manitou Springs, drive another 20 minutes, Woodland Park. It's 3 different vibes.
Okay.
But like if you were looking to go somewhere and get a good tour of Colorado without having to deal with all the crowds of like the ski, and all the skiing and stuff, like those 3 line up really close together. You could probably do those in all day. Maybe it might take you 2 days. I don't know, but
okay, those are good recs. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah, and there's also a really good deli in Woodland Park.
Oh my god, it's so good. So
I think
fresh.
it's like Joni's Deli or Joanne's Deli.
Joanne's.
Yeah.
I guess we can finish off our Colorado recs with our favorite ski mountains.
Yeah.
Okay, mine is Aspen, Keystone, and Breckenridge. But Breckenridge is my favorite. But I'm also biased because I grew up going there. So it'll always have my heart. It's like my favorite place in the entire world.
Yeah.
I swear.
So I've never been to Aspen or Keystone, but I have been to Breck.
It's also good for what you were saying, people who aren't really interested in skiing but still want the mountain vibe. They have a huge town, shops, food, spas, a lot of hiking, river rafting, things you can do any season, really. Like we've been there in the summer. We actually, growing up, went there a lot in the summer just to ski and river raft and fish. A lot of reservoirs too. So it's not only a ski town, I guess.
No, there's a ton of stuff to do there.
Yeah.
You got like that big troll that you can go see too, which is kind of cool. But like great hiking out there. Like we went hiking a few times out there.
It's a homier, family-oriented town. Aspen,
and then that Main Street is really nice too.
Yeah. Aspen, on the other hand, super upscale, bougie, very nice, very expensive. Going out there is so fun. You can go like clubbing in the bars, and it's a lot of fun, but it's super expensive. But I would do it again. And then I skied Buttermilk, and that was honestly one of the best skiing experiences I've had. So fun. I would love to go back to Aspen. And then Keystone's always been one of my favorites too. What are
Yeah,
your...
Keystone's not too far away from Breck either.
No. It's like 30, 20.
Yeah, that area's pretty good. I've been to some of the less busy mountains, I would say. Like, I've skied Breck before, but like other than that, like I mostly skied Copper, which is like on the backside of Breck. And I think it gets a lot of the like Breck leftover or like Breck overfills kind of.
We got the Icon Pass this year, so we stuck to a lot of the Icon mountains this year.
But I think it's a massive mountain, and there's so much skiing to do there. And the town, like, there's obviously not as big of a town, and there's not as big of I guess like I don't know. Breck kind of creates its own vibe. It kind of creates like stay here for a week and like hang out.
For sure.
And like Copper, smaller town. But I think you go to Copper because it's right in the middle of a lot of those mountains that like people go for hanging out. And it's like you go to Breck, 20 minutes from Breck maybe. Mm-hmm. Keystone, it's probably like 20, 30 minutes from Keystone. Mm-hmm. And so like it's not far away from a lot of those types of mountains. But it's also like you're not going to get as busy unless you go on like spring break or like a holiday weekend. You're not going to be as busy as if you went to Breckenridge or Keystone.
I feel like Breck and Aspen, too, specifically have way bigger towns, almost like cities, than compared to Copper, Keystone, Vale. Mm-hmm. I don't even know which ones I'm missing. But, like, they have smaller towns, like, right under the mountains. It's not as large of a city, town, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And then I really like Winter Park, too. I haven't been to the town in Winter Park, but they have like a great area. It's just like a little tiny street of shops and like just like ski gear and stuff and a little like gift shops and restaurants and stuff that are like right at the edge of the mountain, right at the base.
I agree.
Which is really cool.
Winter Park's been added to my new list. It was my first time skiing there this year, and I really like the mountain a lot. Yeah. And then the town is really cute. I've been there. But another thing, if you, again, aren't into skiing, snowboarding, another fun thing you can do in the winter instead of that is tubing. And Winter Park has the best tubing I've been to in Colorado. So fun. You're literally tubing down a mountain. It's crazy. It's so fun. Like, one of the best experiences ever. I went with my friends in college. It was so much fun.
It's like a inner tube? Mm-hmm. Like an inflated tube?
You can sit there. It's huge. You can, like, I think we went with like 5 people in one tube. And you obviously can get like individual ones, but it's fun going with your friends. And then Frisco, which is right by Breck, also has a tubing. It's a little bit smaller. Winter Park's is definitely larger.
Yeah, cool. No, that's a great idea. Because I feel like people have different varying levels of their skiing endurance. It's like some people are done by noon. Some people could go the entire day. So that is like a good... I feel like you could go tubing for like an hour or two, too.
I know. My mom doesn't ski anymore, so when we go to Breck and, do the whole week ski trip, one of the days we'll just go tubing. Yeah. So she can, like, also join in on the winter activities without having to put on skis. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. But, yeah, that kind of wraps up my...
I'll throw in Eldora in there, I think. Eldora doesn't really have a town at all. It just has a...
Well, no, I touched on it. Eldora is like Netherlands.
Town. Yeah. Yeah, very close to the cities in Colorado, Denver, Boulder.
Yeah, definitely the closest.
And I think, like, the least busy you're going to get. It's park, get out of your car and ski.
It's so fun, though. We went, oh my God, senior year of college in, like, April. With all of our friends, and it was so fun. Yeah, parking our cars next to each other and drinking at the little parking lot, and then skiing all day. Yeah,
it's a great time. It's
10 out of 10.
It's definitely not a mountain where you're gonna find a lot of tourists. No. It's all locals.
For sure. Which is good if you're become a local and want to skip out on the tourists or even the traffic up to the mountains.
Yeah, true, because you do beat the traffic if you leave at like 3, it'll take you an hour to get back to Denver instead of 2.5, 3 hours.
But yeah, that's our gist of Colorado, Denver, Colorado.
I mean, there's so much other stuff you can do in Colorado, which is like that's
These
all the
are
stuff
favorites.
that we touched on the most.
Like if you're a tourist here, visiting for a week, do one of these things. And you'll have a blast.
Yeah. I also feel like I could have done another full hour of this.
I know.
Of just like more stuff to do in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even touch on like, I don't know, there's like rodeos all the time. It's like really interesting. I don't know. You can go even further south, Colorado Springs.
There's a lot to do.
It's Pueblo and like Gold. I forget what that town's called over there, but yeah, it's a really big state, and once you get close to the mountains, it's filled with stuff to do. Adventurous stuff, a lot of thrill-seeking stuff. You can like bungee jump off bridges and stuff.
What?
Yeah, off that like, you know that Wait, well, I can't remember the name of the town.
You just pulled that out of your ass.
No, there's like a big bridge where it's like a canyon. Remember like Canyon Gorge or whatever? You like can like jump off like bungee jump off. I don't know.
I can't say I have, but I've seen it on TikTok. I didn't know it was here.
Yeah, I think so.
That's nuts. I would do that.
Yeah, I've seen like skydiving.
That I've seen.
Like right at the tip of like right at the base of the mountains.
They do that in Longmont and Boulder.
Yeah. And there's towns like even east of Colorado, like Aurora is a really nice town.
Aurora, they're more like suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. The gist is Colorado's jam-packed with fun activities and things to do. Well, we want to end this episode with a little announcement. Lex and I are moving to Chicago.
Yeah, so right off the bat,
after telling you
Denver episode.
After telling you how much we love Colorado, we also are telling you that we are leaving Colorado, unfortunately. It's mostly for work and obviously family too. I'm excited about it. I'm getting sadder. Even just talking about on this episode about living here and all the things you can do, I was like, oh, this sucks.
I feel like I tried to jam-pack, living here for a year, I tried to jam-pack everything in Colorado. I tried to do everything in 1 year, which I'm starting to realize is not possible.
Yeah. But yeah, we wanted to share that, so you might see a little change of scenery coming up. But we are planning on still having the podcast and doing it back when we move and get settled, I would say. But yeah, that's something exciting. It's a new chapter of our lives. And at least I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how you feel.
No, I'm looking forward to it too. I think I initially was a little iffy about it, but now that it's like coming up and like becoming a real thing, it's I'm more excited about it. I'm starting to realize that there's some really good spots, and I think like just change in general is always exciting. So making the best out of a new situation is gonna be fun, and plus we're gonna have a lot more new stuff to talk about.
Yeah. I'm definitely so sad to leave Colorado though. I mean, I've lived here for 5 years. It still like honestly hasn't hit me quite yet that we're leaving. I feel like once we start packing up, and at least I haven't found a place to live yet, so that's still on my to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. Change is healthy, and I'm excited to start a new chapter and close this Colorado one. But I definitely see myself coming back here eventually.
Yeah. How else are you going to finish off the bucket list?
I know. It's
There's
not
way
finished.
too much stuff, yeah.
And a month is not long enough.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on like all the places you can drive to from Denver, even outside of Colorado, that are accessible by 5-6 hour drives, which are just, this is a whole new world.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, we wanted to share that along with a list of things you can do in Colorado. But that's it from me. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm all good. This is a long episode.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in this week. And more exciting stuff to come. New chapters happening.
Yeah, there is. It should be fun.
Lots of change. But thank you guys for tuning in. As always, keep following us, subscribe, like, comment. We appreciate all the support always. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.